G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. As you can see, I'm standing near the Glen High School. And I'd like to show you something approaching an art installation. As you can see by the footpath, this is a fairly high traffic area. What with all the teenagers, tweenagers, 12s and whatnot passing by. So it's interesting that a fork growing out of the fence would be able to survive. There we have a fork which has fallen out. And as we walk along, doop-de-doop-de-doo, what do we see up here? A plastic fork, just woven into the fence. Somebody has gone to the trouble of coming equipped with a supply of plastic forks with which to weave between the fence lines. It's as if there's a theme, as if somebody is trying to say something. Who knows? Perhaps they're trying to grow a crop of garden forks in the land care strip. Perhaps the forks are escaping. They're not just hanging on the fence. Get forked, perhaps. Or maybe just fork you. Fork the world. Fork the town. Get forked. So let's go for a bit of a walk and see where else we can find a fork. Haven't got to go far. Fork spotted. Oh yes, look at that. Another fork. Now, I've got to be honest, I have been aware of the phenomenon of the proliferation of forks about the town that I live on the outside edge of for something approaching 7 years, maybe 8 years. And I've developed a complicated theory to account for it. My theory is that somewhere around 7 or 8 years ago, there was a teenage kid, probably not licensed to drive, possibly habitually, sporadically, occasionally, walking about the town in the wee small hours, perhaps under the influence of ethanol. And whereas a lot of other teenage kids might think that it's a funny idea to slash tyres, light fires, destroy mailboxes, this particular kid, 7 or 8 years ago, for a joke, has decided to plant forks in random places and see how long they're going to last. And so, oh look, there we have a fork. A fork. A fork to say, get forked. Yes, I think that's what's going on. The forks, they are proliferating. And it doesn't really matter which street a person chooses to go down, or even particularly which side of the road. The forks are everywhere. No doubt somewhere there's a spook who could figure out where the forks were made, who imported them, who retailed them. They could, if they wanted to, figure out who the mystery artist was. But I've already spotted the next fork. Look at it. See? It's not as if they're hard to spot. They're pretty much all somewhere where Blind Freddy could see them, as long as Blind Freddy was looking. Get forked. Seems to be the message. And it says a lot about the town that some people must be seeing these forks and leaving them there, whereas most people are not seeing them at all. I mean, I must confess this is the second attempt at shooting this video, and this morning I walked this route from the other direction, and I know that along here where I'm walking there are no forks. If they've been planted, they've been removed. But here there are no forks. Okay, so we're the bottom of Cross Street, moving on to Church Street. Let's see what we can find. Are there any forks? Yeah, forky, forky, forky. Yeah, forky, forky, forky. Where would I be if I were a fork? Ah, that's where I would be. A fork. A fork. A fork doth appear. Probably a few more somewhere. Okay, so we had no forks from up there in front of the squared off low green hedge. All the way down along here, no forks, no forks, no forks, no forks. But here we are, looking at a fork. And if we cross over to here, well, I'll be forked. Let's wander along a bit. There's sure to be more forks. And as the night follows the day, fork off. See what I mean? Here a fork, there a fork, everywhere a fork, fork. And here one would more or less reasonably expect there to be a fork emplaced, considering that there's one there and one there. But no. The people who live here apparently don't like getting forked. So apparently they either don't get forked or they remove their forks as soon as they're planted. Who knows? I just watch and observe and contemplate and ponder the forking of my hometown. Here at first there appeared to be no forks at all. However, when one looks right down in there, there's a fork. There's also what appears to be a car key. Don't know who the car key belongs to, don't know who the fork belongs to. So, some forks remain hidden. Okay, let's cross this road and see what forks we may find. Where would one be if one were a fork? Well, that's a good place to start. Another one there. It's a triple forking. Which is kind of cute. Do you not think? Almost at the corner. Haven't seen a fork for a while. Let's see how we go in Wentworth Street. Don't have to go far. A fork. Lurking. Any more for any more? Oh yes, we almost missed a fork. yet another fork in Wentworth Street. As I said at the start, I've been finding these forks all over town for at least 7 years, maybe more. So the teenager who started it is probably pretty much mid-20s by now. Here a fork, there a fork, everywhere a fork, fork. Somebody is just telling the universe to get forked, or perhaps to fork off. As you can see, there you have yet another fork growing beside the asparagus. Maybe forks and asparagus go together. Forks and asparagus. Well, there's the asparagus with its fork attached. And there's the fork beside the guidepost. So I don't know how many more forks I'm going to find in the car park. Well, sadly, I couldn't find any more forks in the car park, so the Phantom Forker apparently does not visit here. And I'm over behind the town hall now, and I'm not seeing any signs of any forks around here either. So I guess this must not be the sort of place where partying teenagers walking home are likely to frequent. Wonder why that would be. Lights and security cameras, probably. As well as the razor wire that they keep on top of the fence around the electricity substation. Yeah, that sort of atmosphere will probably keep your revelling teenagers away. Once again, down here, just where you would expect to see a fork, no forks. Why is it so? It is so because where there are CCTV cameras, there are no happy, harmless teenagers. No fork, no fork. What's the bet there's no fork here either? No fork. Well, I had to go a fair way to find it, but here in Wentworth Street, on the western side of the Park Creek, we have yet another fork. Now, at the beginning of this movie, I said that I'd been looking at these forks for between 7 and 8 years. Well, here we are over on Railway Street. Come and I'll show you the first fork. There we go. I have it spotted. There it is. That was the first one I saw. And if you look at it, you can see the age of the plastic sitting there in the sun, facing west. As you can see, with that beaten down on that little plastic fork every afternoon. So there you go. The mystery Phantom Forker has been kind of unveiled. Now you all in YouTube land know what to do when you're bored and drunk and you feel like going for a walk. Take yourself some plastic forks and fork the world. We don't know who started it, but the meme will grow on. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao. It's a forking lovely idea.